Hello everyone, this is Radagast the Third, and I just wanted to give you guys a little update video from my last video, the first-person replay with me as Mordor versus Men of the West. Basically, a lot of people were unhappy that replay did not have commentary, and so I just wanted to have a little announcement to tell you that in the future, my first-person replays will be featured with live commentary from me. And so, yeah, no fear about that. Since I didn't do a commentary on it, I'm just going to give a few comments right now about it. Basically, what I did at the start was I just went for the normal Corsair spam. And then I saw he's like double barracksing me and bringing out a lot of units. And I got at that fast Nazgul, which was really, really helpful at keeping him contained. If Men of the West build up a huge attacking force of swords and pikes at just the very beginning of the game, then they can totally swarm your base and destroy all your mining. So having that Nazgul around really makes them a little more careful, and so they're not as willing to just rush into your base and just go berserk. Towards the middle of the game, I went for a Fell Beast, and that was an okay idea because he didn't have archers at the time, but that's the only reason that you will ever build a Fell Beast, because honestly they're just not worth the cost of 3,000 resources. Probably better just to get forged blades or more Nazgul on horseback or something like that. Fell Beast generally isn't worth it, but that one instance it's okay to build it, but even then it didn't last that long. So kind of an okay decision by me. Maybe I could have gone another way. I was just trying to experiment around with that. And kind of a similar thing going on with the Witch King. That was a pretty bad idea. Basically he was just at the bottom left corner of the map just creeping everything, and I mean I got a bunch of money off of that, but I don't even think he paid for himself. I mean he got a bunch of experience, and then I should have landed him, but instead I kept him on his Fell Beast, and that wasn't a very good idea of mine either. So yeah, I kind of messed up there. And then pretty much from there I went into hardcore Corsair spam, and then I tried to fool around with catapults. Now the thought behind the catapults is, number one, to use their fire to take out the arrow towers that the men were building, because those are really hard to kill with Corsairs, because your Corsairs will die before they get there. So I wanted a ranged unit to be able to take that out, so that was the catapults. Also, catapults are strong at killing armies because they can switch ammunition to the fear, where they throw skulls at the enemy, and that makes the enemy basically just run away from you. And so you can pretty much just scare off a bigger army just with catapults, and so that's also really, really useful. So you kind of saw me mixing a little combination of both of those and trying to micro around with that. The other way I could have taken out the towers was with Corsair firebombs, but I actually didn't ever think of that during the game. But yeah, looking back, that was definitely something I could have done. And yeah, I mean, pretty much it was just survival for a really, really long time in that game, all the way till I got the Balrog. I mean, I had a general sort of idea, you know, I wanted to take out the towers by his outpost and kind of proceed from there, but that wasn't too successful, and eventually he started getting an upper hand on, killing all my bases, in the middle of the map, and I had to withdraw a little into my shell. Then he started using, earthquake powers on my fort and, all kinds of stuff just to mess me up. And I bet you all loved that tavern spam where I had 7 taverns. Yeah, that's just proof that I have way too much money. But it's kind of lame that a lot of times it turns into a PowerPoint battle against Men of the West. But if that's what you have to do, just survive. Upgrade your fort armor for sure to protect against the earthquake. Not necessarily build barricade expansions on your fort, because the earthquake will just kill those in one shot, and they weren't even in my base with normal troops, so there wasn't really much point in doing that. So yeah, it was just survive to the Balrog and eventually get into his base and be able to take that out. Microing, there was basically, all there was a little bit of Nazgul micro towards the middle, especially when I got all 3. I just kind of danced around and keep their pikes busy while my Corsairs work on his Gondor soldiers, since the Corsair is a slightly stronger unit. And so yeah, just use Nazgul, even if they're not killing things, use them to distract half of your opponent's army. If you're doing that, you're as good as killing half the army. You deal it with one half at a time. And so yeah, that's pretty useful. And then other than that, there wasn't too much. There were a few cases where I switched the Corsairs to firebombs because he had really, really big clumps of units, if you've got a ton of Corsairs, take 1 or 2 hordes of them, pull them back, switch them to firebombs, and just do a ton of area damage on them with the fire. And let's see what else. At the end of the game, there was like he had a few heroes left, and he was doing like one kind of final push towards my base with a few other troops aside from his heroes. And basically, you saw me kind of just make a little concave. I sent some Corsairs to the left, some to the right. They kind of swooped back in from his backside, and I did a really nice surround right there, and that just finished him off. And so, oh yeah, one other thing, Tom Bombadil. You see Tom Bombadil, run. Just plain run. I mean, he's gonna kill your army. I think at one point in the game I might have actually killed him, but he's such a strong hero. Just run. There's no point in staying. Also, I got banner carriers to kind of help replenish my troops. That's kind of a nice thing to do if you've got the money for it, which I did. And so, yeah, Tom Bombadil especially. Get those banner carriers. And aside from that, I think that's pretty much it. The next first-person replay I'm doing is probably going to be Elven replay, since that's what people were requesting. And that'll probably be up within a week or so. And I would also like to mention that one of my viewers, called TNG Dwarfonage, sent me a 4v4 replay on the Tournament Hills map. It was a pretty fun replay, but because it's 4v4, it's really hard to cast. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to include a link below to it, and you can check that out. And you can also find it, yeah, the link I'm going to post is on gamereplays.org, and so you might be interested in like checking him out there. He's got an account, and you might be interested in TNG as a possible clan for you if that's the way you want to go. So yeah, that's it for this announcement replay, and I'm going to be casting a game right after this, so hopefully that'll be uploaded pretty soon. Thanks guys for listening to this. This is Ratty3 signing out.